It is not the 1980s anymore. Matte makeup for 2026. Watch my both videos, part 1 and part 2. I'll see you there. I have a confession to make, ladies. I was wrong. I did not realize that matte foundations are very popular right now. I want to talk about them with you. Now, when I mentioned matte foundations a few weeks ago, I said I was going to try a product with you, and I still want to do that today. But before I do, I want to let you know that when I was teaching classes, makeup classes and skincare in the 80s, okay, everything was matte. It was a very serious approach to makeup, very kind of over the top, because that's what the 80s were. But also the matte piece of the foundations, the matte look, was very high fashion, therefore more serious. And therefore, it's different today. I'm finding out, reading the labels on all these matte foundations for today by Estee Lauder, Fenty Beauty, Charlotte Tilbury, they all have these sort of soft blurring effect. That's what they're sort of highlighting with the matte piece. The matte foundations in the 80s was a lot, again, more matte. Some may call it drying and aging. It's questionable. But what I'd like to say is if you have a really good skincare underneath all of that and a good moisturizer, you should not have any problems with caking and drying. It's probably just not a good product. So what I want to do today is I want to try a new matte product that I found at the Dollar Tree. I'll show you the label again because I mentioned it a few weeks ago. It is the ProLuxe liquid foundation, and I bought the matte powder. And I promised, as I said, I'm going to try it with you today. Before I open any of the packages for the matte foundation, I want to remind you what I use on a daily basis because I don't have any matte foundations in my repertoire. Not anything yet until I try this ProLuxe, and I don't know yet if I'm going to like it. On a daily basis, I've told you before, I use this Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. It is absolutely fabulous. Great buildable coverage, and it has squalene in it, has niacinamide. It is like so amazing. I can't get enough of that product. And then I use for a very soft touch of concealer, I use this e.l.f. Hydrating Satin Finish. Amazing, intense coverage and really good. And then what I have as some other options, I've used the True Match Foundation by L'Oreal, a lovely, lovely product. I've actually used the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation, and I've used the Wet n Wild Tinted Foundation, and one last one is the e.l.f. Soft Glam. So these foundations are wonderful. They're good when I'm going somewhere else other than work. But for work, I have to keep it simple, again, with a product like this. So let's get into the matte one. But wait, you know I have something else to tell you before we actually get into the product. I have two pictures to show you. One's a black and white photo and one's a color. This is really what it looked like in the 80s. This is matte foundation. It's very glam, very high fashion. Love it. And then the next one is a color picture. This one is extremely high fashion. Look at the glam with that. We're looking at a very matte look, but a very serious look. Now, I personally loved that look. That's became, and kind of still is, one of my signature looks. If you notice the intensity of the colors, but the matte look. There's nothing high gloss or dewy, none of that stuff in the 80s. But some may argue that the matte foundations and makeup of the 80s was drying and cracking and aging, but I tend to debate that. If you have a really good skincare regime underneath, really good moisturizer, anything on top of that is going to look fabulous. Because if you're going for a certain look for matte, it's the look you're going for. You're not trying to create matte throughout. We don't have matte skincare, of course. We have skincare that helps moisturize and nourish the skin. So when the paint goes on, that's the artwork. That's your makeup, your foundation, and all of your colors. Those can be as matte as ever. If it's a good product, it's going to look good. Okay, so that's a very important point to know. Okay, let's go. This is the ProLuxe Matte Foundation. It comes in a really cute packaging. It's a pump bottle. I'm gonna put it right on my hand first, like we always do. It takes a few pumps, of course, because it's just, let me go this way. Here we go. Okay, so there's the foundation. And in the 80s, we did not use brushes, we used our hands. And maybe a sponge or two, but I don't remember. And I'm not putting anything underneath my eyes, like I said. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on like this. Okay, so far, it's feeling matte. Okay. I don't want to say too much till I get it all on. The color is decent. It's not too light. Probably use a little bit up here too, okay? It's definitely not a thin coverage. You're going to get good coverage from the get-go. So I think you're going to need to use a small amount. I have news for you, ladies. That pump that I had on my hand was too much. Use very little at a time. But the coverage, I love it. I really like it. I didn't think I was going to like it. I was kind of afraid to like it. Okay, don't forget, I have nothing on here, so any of the shadows under my eyes are going to show, but you got to look at the skin here. It's really nice. Now, we're going to put the powder. That's going to be another thing to test. Powder in the 80s, we never put it on with this little poofy thing that we use, the little powder puff. We used a brush, so that's what we're going to use. Kind of put it all over. We didn't stipple it in the face. There's terms today that they use that we didn't use in the 80s, so. Put a little more, ooh, want to feel it first. Okay, very, very soft, very soft. You know, the lighting is not the greatest, but when I film it, I'll put on a little filter so it can see the lighting better. Okay, I want you to see it. It's really, actually really good. Really, really good. And now another test is we're going to put blush. Okay, I'm going to grab one of my favorite blushes. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the Milani Baked Blush. And by the way, the color is Rose D'Oro, D''O''R''O. It's a really good color and I use it a lot. Okay, so I'm going to take a little of this. We're going to go up the cheek. Okay, it's holding on well. You know what? It really works well with the foundation and powder. It's really pretty. I like it. Now, again, ladies, you got to remember, I don't have my full face on. I don't have anything under my eyes, nothing underneath. All the shadows are showing. So let's just, again, concentrate on the actual foundation and the cheeks. That's what we're looking at here. And then, of course, we're so used to doing the blurring thing. I'm going to still take powder and take those edges down. Okay, just like that. All right, so look at that. Look at the beautiful finish. I like it a lot. Now, I don't know that I'm going to run and grab every matte foundation, but I'm not afraid to try matte now. I was a little hesitant. I'm not going to lie. And so if you want to try this is at the Dollar Tree. It's called Prolux. And I think they have some other products that are coming out from that line. They have different colors. It's a little hard to figure out. This was just called Light. There's a little questionable on the names of the colors. I took a chance and I got it right. So if you look like you might be my skin tone, which is a warm, very light, but warm skin tone, try the one that's called Light, and the powder as well. But they're at the Dollar Tree. You should give them a try. If you like the matte look, why not, ladies? Don't hesitate to try something new. You could also say you don't like it and it's just something you've learned. But either way, like I always say, don't be afraid to try products. Be creative with your tools. Telling you right now, it really looks good. I love it. I am going to probably do this. I'm going to try this again for work tomorrow. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to try it for work.
even though I don't wear these heavier items, foundations at work. Just put a small amount, and I'm going to put the full face of powder and all of my makeup on for work. Not a full glam look, but just more of makeup, more coverage. And then I'll come back and show you that as well. That'll be kind of fun to see it fully made up. But try it if you like it, ladies. And like I always say, find your perfect purpose, find your balance, and you will definitely find your joy. And on that note, have a great day.
As promised, here's the full face coverage with the Prolux Light Foundation in matte. It's in light with the powder in light. I find the texture is very rich. You use very, very little at a time. A little bit goes a very long way, and it has a velvety, soft matte look. And just a little tiny fragrance that almost smells like greenery. It's beautiful. I underestimated the matte look. It's not the 80s, but it's now, and I'm loving it. It's a nice choice to have in your repertoire of makeup. Sometimes you want a matte look, sometimes you don't. But that's what's nice about being a woman. We have choices, and we can change our mind anytime. Have a great day, ladies. And don't forget, this is available at the Dollar Tree. One last look, ladies. I've had this makeup on since 5:30 this morning. I think it looks great. You know, there is a little shine, but guess what? I have oily skin. Matte makeup. Who knew?